Hey everyone, this time we're gonna have a look at one of my favorite early ST shooters, namely Plutos, published by Micro Value in 1986. It was developed by British developer Derek Johnston and is quite inspired by Tekken's arcade game Star Force that was released in 1984. It has similar enemies, patterns and game mechanics compared to Plutos. And Derek also handled the conversion of Plutos to the Amiga, and this seems to be the only 16-bit game he worked on. But he did also work on two Atari 8-bit computer titles, Zone X and Tunnel Tracker, released in 85 and 84 respectively. But not quite sure if Tunnel Tracker was actually released though. It's also interesting to note that Tynesoft also developed a version of Plutos for the Atari 7800 around 1990 or something. But for some reason it ended up not being published, no idea why. But there is a fixed ROM dump of the game available online, and the game seems more or less finished and plays quite nicely, although it seems to be very loosely connected to the original. But enough said about this, let's get blasting. And no loading screen on this game, the game just starts up. And I remember this was one of the first games I got for my ST, and I got it from a friend. And as I was playing it for the first time, I really felt like, wow, this looks like a pretty poor 8-bit shooter. I wasn't impressed and I just kind of stopped playing it. But since I didn't have too many games at the time, I did return to it some time later and actually found it to be really enjoyable. And this turned out to be, I think, one of my favorite shooters on the ST. There's just some addictive quality to it. And it's one of those games where you always get a little bit further every time you play, even though it does get pretty tricky on the higher stages. And it does have simultaneous two-player, which was really fun. Remember playing with my friends, had a lot of fun with this, but we're going to stick with one-player game here. And as you can see, the graphics and sound effects aren't that amazing. Let's just even lower the sound effects because they're a little bit jarring at times. Yeah, it's not super impressively from an audiovisual standpoint, but it doesn't really matter. Gameplay is solid. It's fun to play. The only gripe I remember having it with it was maybe that the speed of the ship is a little bit slow. It's sometimes really quite hard to have enough time to reposition yourself. If you want to be getting as many of these filthy enemies as possible. And these question marks, I think there's a 25% chance to get an extra life when you blast them. And I got one life there, and trust me when I say I'm going to be needing it. Let's blast the discs of death here. And the enemies look quite similar to many of the enemies in Star Force. I think these enemies I specifically remember, at least more or less. And I think we are coming up on the first boss, which was really rather creepy. You need to blast these eyes. Really found this rather creepy back in the day. And that's it. And the manual says that you need to defeat the boss, otherwise you have to replay the stage. I'm not sure if that is the case. But I do get an extra ship if I defeat or blast the eyes. Pretty damn terrifying. So, stage 2, here we are. More of the same, slightly different graphics, but the graphics are... I mean, they're not terrible. It's just, I had expected a bit more back in the day. And more colors and, you know, more impressive visuals. But they're not awful. And here we get some points. This is also something that was, I think, in Star Force. We could get points by shooting stuff several times. And it's also quite interesting when you die in the game, lose a life. You will just keep playing. Although, oh man, missed that. Although you will be, as you can see, there's like an outline, so you're invincible. Lost a whole bunch of lives there. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. This is not supposed to happen. I'm not paying attention. But again, there is something very satisfying about this game. And we need to murder some more eyes. And get some extra lives as well. So let's do that. And let's get some points. Because I think you get extra lives at certain points as well. Certain scores, I should say. So the difficulty is picking up. And we also need to refuel the ship. As you can see, there's fuel counting down to the... damn it. To the right. And we need to blast the fuel pods, which is basically a little square with an F on, that we need to destroy to fill her up here. Here we have a bunch of Amiga balls. Get that fuel! Yeah! There really isn't too much variation when it comes to the enemies. But hey, that's... as you can see, it's hard getting out of the way since the ship is rather slow. I would have liked the ship to be a bit faster, but there's really no power-ups. No speed-ups, nothing like that. Which is a little bit of a bummer. I would have liked to see some weapon power-ups and maybe a way to speed up your ship. Let's get some more points. Oh man, it's getting pretty crowded here. And now we get teeth as well. Quite terrifying. I think we're gonna blast the fuel because I really need it. That worked fairly well. The eyes must not see and the teeth must not chew. Another bonus ship. Awesome. Stage 4. And I think things are getting pretty hectic here. And again, not much variation when it comes to the enemies and such, but hey, it's alright. And as you can see, the enemies are starting to shoot now as well. I think they did that like on stage 2 or something. And we also need to look out for certain installations here. We can't fly over things with a big shadow. That is bad news for my face. Oh god, yeah, you really need to clear the screen quickly from enemies unless you want to get absolutely pelted by bullets. I don't remember how far I got in the game back in the day. Probably stage 5 or something. Oh, here's the skulls of doom. Don't remember if these guys do anything. I think they're just a little bit tougher to shoot. You need to blast them a couple of times. Need that fuel. Need those extra lives, please. Yes. Need to blast some teeth here. Get some fuel. Yeah, very busy life being a pilot. Damn you, you utter bastard skull. Wow, this is going fairly well. As you can see, the game is pretty generous when it comes to extra lives, but it's still a bit tough. And it's still fun to play, I must say. There's just something addictive about this game. Something enjoyable with the simplicity of it all. Even though it is a little bit, kind of slow at times. Frame rate drops at times when there's too much going on. But again, yeah, it's still fun. It's getting pretty crowded here. Let's try and get the enemies. And of course, I don't remember the patterns here at all. Haven't played it in ages. But it really is important to memorize the attack patterns, the attack waves, where they come from, and you need to deal with them quickly, as in most arcade shoot-em-ups, I suppose. Should we call this game an early bullet hell game? Well, maybe not quite. It's not that many... bastard bullet. It's not that many bullets, but enough to make my life hard. More teeth, more eyes. More misery and death. Okay, it's going surprisingly well, but I think what usually got me back in the day was, you know, lack of fuel. So I'm guessing maybe this is where my attempt is going to end. Stage 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got here. Yes, I did. And I'm pretty sure here is where my fuel would run out. Is it just me, or is the ship a little bit, damn it, little bit too frick large as well? I mean, I'm not constantly looking at my ship, I'm looking at other things, and I think I know where the ship is at, but it's clearly a little bit larger than I think it is. 3 extra lives, awesome! And now we've got more enemies that need more than one hit to destroy. It's a pain in the butt. Really is. But I think we did get a little bit further than last time now, so that's nice. That is, of course, because I'm starting to kind of learn the attack patterns here. Amiga balls. Worst kind of ball. No, not really. Just kidding. And now we have loads of teeth and stuff that needs to be pulled out and prodded and destroyed. And yeah, that went decently well. I think we're going to get an extra ship as well now. Stage 7. Not sure if I ever did get this far back in the day. I don't really remember. And I have no recollection of what my high score was. I mean, back in the day, I wasn't too concerned about high scores. I mean, depending on game a little bit, I suppose, but I was more interested in exploring the game, finding all the stages. Yeah, this doesn't look familiar at all, so I'm pretty sure I've never been here before. God, would you look at the absolute mess of turrets? Please, 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 don't murder me. There's like 4 turrets at a time, which is not good. And you really need to remember where they are. Oh, damn you. Let me guess. There's going to be turrets over here to the right. You bastard. I mean, look at this mess. Give me the fuel. God. Oh, no. Yeah, I wish my ship was a little bit faster. Takes absolutely forever getting out of the way here. Please, please. Oh my God. No. Please, don't touch me. And it's still the same enemies. Oh well. Yeah, I'm getting into this. I can't stop playing. It really is a very well designed game. Still fun to play. And also still rather tricky. Oh no, please. And there was a bullet from behind. I did not see that. I wish I had auto fire, but I don't. Oh no, yeah, sometimes I just completely miss bullets. It's bad. And these things, I hate them. Popcorn or whatever they're supposed to be, and I hate them with a fiery passion. It's fuel at least. Please, 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 please. Yeah, we're actually moving forward. Yes, here's the boss. Awesome. Yeah, die. Evil eyes of doom. Give me fuel. Yes. Yes, I can guarantee you that I never got this far back in the 80s. And we have different enemy behavior and also some new enemies. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And the popcorn is back. Flippin' hate you. And these spinny things, I don't think we can destroy them actually. So let's not try. At least the game slows down a bit, making it a little bit easier. Okay. Let's go that way. Oh, I don't like these things. I really don't. Oh, we can blast them, but they require like a gazillion hits. All right. Oh yeah, this is getting pretty tricky. We have no... Oh, here's the... No, I was going to say the next boss, and then I just, looked at something else, and yeah, I got smacked in the face by whatever. Yeah, this is still a fun game to play, and yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I even feel like giving it another shot, but let's have a look at a couple of reviews before we end instead, shall we? Computer and Video Games were quite excited about the game, and they gave it a playability score of 9 out of 10, and they wrote, "By thoughtful game design such as this, Plutos manages to overcome such shortfalls as poor sound effects and slow scrolling. Instead, it whips you up into a destructive frenzy and doesn't let go. When you find yourself swearing at an inanimate object, namely a monitor, and fighting a losing battle against finger cramp, you know the game's got you well and truly hooked." And yeah, I completely agree. Gameplay is very entertaining. The rest, maybe not as impressive, but hey, gameplay is there. ST Action didn't award the game any rating, and I think this is because it's an older game, and this is from an article about shoot-em-ups. And they wrote, "As I have already mentioned, the game offers nothing staggeringly new. The only thing setting it apart from numerous other shoot-em-ups is the two-player option. But since Steinsoft have decided to market the game on their budget label, Micro Value, the game is of a low enough price to generate interest. If you enjoy a good blast every once in a while, but are not the world's greatest game player, then Plutos could be your answer." So yeah, maybe a little bit less enthusiastic, but this was, I think, the year after the game was released or something like that. And as they mentioned, the difficulty is quite easy, and it is, but it does get very nicely and evenly progressively more difficult. And that is very satisfying, because I said before, you do get a little bit further every time you try. So with that, I'm going to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this quick peek at Plutos, and as always, hope to catch you next time. Cheers!